Hello, I'm Jared Hansen, Parts Manager with Kice Industries. In this video, we'll go over steps for removal and replacement of our VJX cartridges that contain the bearings and shaft seals. We will also go over tools, major components, and replacement for the Kice VJX cartridges. Hope this helps. In the cartridge kit, you're going to receive a pre-assembled bearings and seals, lube for your O-rings, bolts for reassembling, jack bolts, and feeler gauges. Tools required are going to be a hammer, a punch, 3/16 Allen wrench, 5/32 Allen wrench, and a 3/32 Allen wrench. You're also going to need a 9/16 wrench or socket wrench and sandpaper for cleaning. Here are your basic components with the replacement cartridge kit you get with Kice. The jack bolts to remove those away from the end plates, replacement bolts once you get them fastened, and of course your cartridges to do both sides of your airlock. Before we begin, we want to put a 2x4 in the inlet of the airlock to prevent it from rotating and pinching your fingers. Step one is going to be taking off the locking collar on the bearing. First thing you're going to want to do is loosen your locking collar with your 3/16 Allen wrench and locate your indentation in your locking collar. Tap lightly not to go too far and rotate counterclockwise until you can pull your collar off. Locate and loosen bearing lock collar by rotating in opposite direction of normal shaft rotation. After this, you're going to rotate the rotor and locate the shaft set screws. With your 3/32 Allen wrench, locate your set screw and loosen this side in 180 degrees. Locate and loosen on the other. Remove the cartridge by identifying the retaining bolts and then locating the threaded hole for your jack bolt. After removing your mounting bolts and installing your jack bolts 180 degrees from each other, tighten 1/4-inch turns, alternating sides to prevent any jamming. After several alternating turns, your cartridge should break free from the end plate, allowing you to remove freely. First thing you're going to want to do is take your sandpaper, clean your shaft, make sure there's no debris that's picked up or any burrs. And with the lube provided, you want to get a healthy amount and spread all the way around your O-ring to ensure a nice seal. Now that we're ready to install the cartridge, locate the locking collar set screw and place it at the 9 o'clock position. Mount the cartridge on the shaft, centering the non-threaded hole at the 0 position. You might have to lift up slightly on the rotor and press into position. Alternating bolts with 1/4-inch turns, tighten all the bolts until all the way tight. Once you've completed this, take your feeler gauges provided and make sure your gap is still there and your rotor has not shifted while reinstallation. Tighten the locking collar set screw that we've conveniently located at the 9 o'clock position. Rotate rotor 1 blade length until the next rotor is approximately at the 0 position. Now you can locate and tighten your set screws. Remember, there's one on the other side, 180 degrees. Install locking collar all the way to the end, turning clockwise by hand. With your punch clockwise to set your collar. Now we can tighten down our set screw. Now that this end is complete, repeat the steps on the opposite side. This concludes our video on how to remove and replace the Kice VJX cartridge. You can find all our manuals on our website.